Bino. Zeke Black is in the building. Zeke Black is in the building. Salute to everything. I'm coming with this content, different opinions, different thoughts on things. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all be going with the magazines been saying, what the mixtapes been saying, what the DVDs been saying. So we're just hitting some information, man. I'm saying, let's see if anything can hit, anything can collide. This show is today is recognition of my man Cosmo Bay, and it's be a good one, man. Shout out to whole Harlem, shout out to Queens, Southside, man, South Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Salutes. What's the difference between Supreme and the Preem team in the era? We're not talking about Murder Inc. Preem. We're talking about Preem in the era. Shout out to 50 Cent Cannon. Be on the lookout for the Cannon. What's up, party people? What's up? James Kill says, what's up? Salute the Money D. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the whole Chi-Town. You know what I'm saying? Chicago. You know what I'm saying? St. Louis. You know, West Side St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? Yo, let's get to the get down. All right. Shout out to North City, St. Louis. I'm to the north side. You heard? Preem, right? Preem was well guarded, was well protected. You talking about the Preem when he was in charge? Yes, Real Cash. I like that. You said it, Real Cash said it off right. Supreme took care of those close to him. Rich problem was he never took care of his family out the hood. You ain't never lied, bro. Supreme fed the wolves. See, that's the whole. Don't see. You know what I'm saying? Supreme fed the wolves. Rich Porter, no matter what people say, how they try to say it, he was scandalous, he was cheating points. Rich Porter was a plug. You gotta salute the man on that. Man went on to become a plug. We're not talking about a small time plug, he became a plug. At a time in New York when New York was transitioning Manhattan into the Creoles game, he was a major player in Central Harlem. Rest in peace, Fritz opened the door for him, and he went, and he took a lot of money. But what came with a lot of money was he didn't have a strong team behind him. And we can tell Rich didn't have a strong team behind him just by the fact that him passing away, dudes are still hanging around the dude that's accused of killing him. Certain family members are still getting money with the guy out of town. You know what I'm saying? So, he didn't have a strong team behind him. Maybe he didn't feed the wolves right. Maybe he didn't feed the people right. But he didn't have a strong team behind him. Preem fed the wolves. You know what I'm saying? He fed the wolves where they was okay with their positions and being soldiers. The only issue I think Preem really had was with Green Eye Born. But that was a personal issue, I believe, with Green Eye Born, because he went to jail and he probably felt dudes didn't look out for him. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, his circle was tight. I know me being on the south side a lot of times, I hear the reminiscences of Preem and the power that Preem had. Preem family, the house that Preem grew up in was right across the street from Baisley Park. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't far hard to find. Baisley was right in his backyard. Baisley Housing Complex. Nobody never knocked on the door. Nobody never threw a bomb through the door. Nobody never kicked the door open. The family, Mama Love, lived right across the street. One love. I know that from just being on the south side. When you hear the stories about the ex-cop who mentions that he was getting money on the south side, guys were selling krills in Baisley Park. You know what I'm saying? Baisley Pond Park. Salute 1090 boys in the building. Rest in peace, WAP. RP WAP. Yeah, definitely. Salute to Uncle WAP. You know what I'm saying? Southside finest. Uncle Charlie. OG Uncle Charlie McMillan. Southside finest. 118. My man Black. 118 something Boulevard. You heard? My man Chopper from Foch. 116. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they was more organized. What's your Jack and Telecast? Queens was more organized and militant. Peace to the gods and earth. They was way more militant. They was way more militant than What's Your Jack and Podcast says. Queens was more organized and militant. Peace to the gods and earth. That's a fact. Father, you peace to the gods. One love, peace to me, brother, from one another. You know what I'm saying? From one, you know what I'm saying? Peace to the God. You know what I'm saying? Double shout out to the PTC crew. Harlem wasn't organized. That's a fact. What's your jacket? Telecat. It wasn't organized. It was too much. So even though he was getting hit, it wasn't a strong foundation. So look, even though Preem went to jail, he didn't get murdered. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't get lined up the first time, the first two times. You know what I'm saying? Now, his nephew was able to take over, and you know things went a little more crazy in his. But when his nephew took over, it's like how we said, our generation was getting money, he was getting fly, he was getting dipped. When Prince took over, it was like how we say now, young boys going crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the weird part was, Prince wasn't a young boy, because Prince basically, if I'm correct, Prince grew up with Preem. You know what I'm saying? Well, Prince he grew up with Preem. So Preem trained Prince. He trained him. He gave Prince some training. He trained the man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like Supreme was able to train him and the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? He had a strong alliance around him, bro. I mean, when you hit a case, right? Now think about this, right? You had to go to Queens, South Side. You had to know somebody on the South Side to know what they was doing. But these guys wasn't hiding. They was outside. You understand what I'm saying? They was in 40s Park. I mean, they was at the clubs. They was at the Fever. You see the flicks. They was at the all the hot spots. Anything that was hot clubs in New York, all these guys was there. So it wasn't like they was tucked away in Queens somewhere. They was around. They was outside. And as crazy as it sounds, as much as Brooklyn was snatching chains, even going uptown, violating dudes at the rooftop, coming out, taking a long train ride to Brownsville, a 3-hour train ride to snatch 2-3 shines, take a couple of good garments. There wasn't robbing Queen cats. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Fat Cat had the big gazelles, Fat Cat gazelles like this, and you know, Queen them had the minks on, looking around crazy. They didn't have no stress from Brooklyn cats. And that's where my man said something that was deep. You know, Queens and Brooklyn was strong with the guards. That's and you know, when we speak about these rallies, you know what I'm saying? Those rallies brought a lot of people together. So I don't know if Preem is pulling up to those East New York rallies with the you know the names you hear about, like Born True and them. Not saying Born True from the East, he's from Canarsie, Brookline, but know where all the guards is at. The Fort Greene rallies where they built these alliances with the guards already, where they was known. Because back in the days, you really had to be known by word of mouth. Like there wasn't no internet. Like you went to some even like no fly zones was like Edenwald, Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? Edenwald, Brownsville, certain spots you just didn't go to. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just a no-fly zone. You could know somebody in Edenwald and still get robbed. You had to be official Edenwald cats. You know, certain areas you just didn't go to. Like some people didn't just go to 183rd and Davis and McCrescent. You know what I'm saying? Because it was dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Gina was popping. So, you know, nobody never really gave, he wasn't going to Brownsville, just pull it up. You know what I'm saying? Certain areas was no fly zones if you wasn't from the borough. That's how New York City was just giving it up at that time. Think about the years we're talking about. 84, 85, 86, 87. These dudes was getting money. You know how we see how when the Sour Diesel hit, dudes took millions. They caught something when it first hit. So as Rich was getting money with that, and a couple of other good players, They caught that same flow in Queens. Now, mind you, we're talking about the era when your average customer was either a cop, mailman, BCW worker, CO, worked for the city. Your average customer had a job. You know what I'm saying? The average customer, Deputy John Sharp described it. Bushie Jacket Park. And if you really go deep into it, Bronx and Harlem was Zulu, Black Power, Brooklyn and Queens, Staten Island was 5%. Bushie Jacket Podcast just said that. And if you really get into it deep, Bronx and Harlem was Zulu and Black Power. Brooklyn and Queens, Staten Island was 5%. So it was a different energy, a different time, a different motivation, a different temptation. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Chopper Benny. My man Zoe and all that. My man Zoe. Now, being on the South Side, I noticed that Supreme and Prince had a lot of influence on a lot of side blocks. You know, by Linden. You know where McDonald's is at, by Suckling and Linden. They had a lot of influences on it. And from what I used to hear, it's word from the street that if you went up for the pack, they would bring you to some basement over there and just grease you. They would take you hostage. If you stole work, dudes would throw you in the trunk, throw you in the basement, and put hands and feet on you for like 3-4 days. They won't kill you. They just, unless you really violate it. It was a different time. They was very organized in their affairs. So even if you thought about making a silly move, it had to be completely calculated. Because if you stole a 100 pack, $1,000 pack, you was hostage for 4 or 5 days. They was doing what it would sound like some preacher's joint. You running around, you know, the back. They see you get in the back of the car, bust you over the head 8-9 times, got you in the basement, smash you in your hand, hit you in the head with hammers. Shout out to the South Side, man. You know what I'm saying? This is how it was, man. And this is crazy, right? Hold on. I'm gonna read some mail to your party people. For those that don't know, because there's some people that's on here that's not from New York City that's going, what the hell is he talking about? These guys is lethal. Don't get it twisted. The fear of if you run off with a pack was dangerous. Dudes was getting assassinated for attempting to put work on blocks. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Supreme Team. I have to go to. The Supreme Team was an organized crime syndicate that operated throughout the 1980s in New York City. Their headquarters was in Baisley Park in South Jamaica, Queens, New York City. The leaders was Kenneth McGriff and his nephew, Gerald Prince Miller. In 1989, McGriff spent 10 years in federal prison for narcotics. They're talking about Supreme before 50s, before the whole Murder Inc. thing. In February 2007, he got caught up again. You know what I'm saying? The Supreme Team was a street gang organized in the early 1980s in the vicinity of Baisley Park houses in Jamaica, Queens, New York. Remember, back then, the average customer had money. Queens was a place where a lot of African Americans and Puerto Ricans definitely wasn't. But African Americans was able to go to get houses, buy houses. A lot of veterans bought Vietnam vets bought houses. A lot of people that had jobs bought houses. They began to migrate to South Jamaica, Hollis, Queens, St. Albans, other than the West Indians that was buying houses, doing the same thing. It became a working class borough. 90% of Queens is residential. It's a working class borough. So think about the flow that they had. You know what I'm saying? The Supreme Team was a street gang organized in the 1980s vicinity of Baisley Park Gardens, Baisley Park houses in Jamaica, Queens, New York, by a group of teenagers who were members of the 5% Nation under their leadership, Kenneth Supreme McGriff with Miller, his nephew, was the second command. The gang concentrated in criminal efforts on the widespread distribution of crack cocaine. Oh, now they're not. That's just Queens. That's just what they was doing in Queens. They're not the original. That's just what they was doing in Queens, brother. That's what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? So we just know about their crew, the Cream Team. You know what I'm saying? And it's 1987 peak. The Supreme Team receipts exceeded 200,000 a day, and the gang regularly committed acts of violence and murder to maintain a stronghold on the area's drug trade. After McGriff went to jail in 87, leadership of the Supreme Team went to Miller, and then everything went crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you what's crazy, right? Is that when we read into this stuff, he's right though. Father you're right. Rich Porter was not on Supreme's level. We can just tell that by how easy it was for him to be infiltrated, for the circle to be dismantled the way it was. The way AZ was so easy to get hit, and he'd tell the police on somebody. Like that goes to show you a lot, right? Now when dudes blew up Fat Cat's mother house, I think there was some deep consequences that came with that. That's where guys' names like Glaze and them came into play. You know what I'm saying? Like when Glaze and them pulled up. But you know what I'm saying? It comes from Preem came from a different cloth. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the cloth that he come from, we can't make it again. Like Bimmy and them was a part of Preem Team. You know what I'm saying? Green Eye Bone was a part of Preem Team. But that was Supreme's situation that he created and took off. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because you know what I'm saying? But when that Krills ever kicked in, these guys was able to make thousands of dollars. When the Krills hit, the game changed. Because now people that was doing the powder began to. I'm gonna tell you what helped the Krills gang. What helped the Krills gang is before when they called it, but I guess they called it free base. It took a lot to do it. You had to get it. You had to get the ether. You had to make all type. You had to go through all type of chemicals. You want to watch what they was doing? It's called watch JoJo Dance of Richard Pryor. That was the scientific madness. And somebody came up with the 1, 2, 3 step: baking soda, ice. Boom. You swing that around in a coffee pot and look at a plastic thing. You don't need ether. You don't need all those chemicals, soda cans, and aluminum foil, and we all go. That ain't no fun. Where helped the trade was whoever bought the stems, bro. Whoever brought the stems into play, that's what helped the game. That's what helped it. Whoever bought the stems and whoever. Because think about it, when you went to the rooftop, just like Unique said, dudes would go upstairs and pay to just smoke freebase. Freebase was the ether and all that. That wasn't stems. The stem era is what had dudes going solo dolo. It's just like, you know, when you smoke weed with your boys, but you don't know how to roll. You know what I'm saying? So every time for you to get high, you had to go hang out with your man who knew how to roll. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Knew how to roll. So once you learn how to roll, you don't need the crew. That's what happened with the STEM game. When the STEM came into play, you didn't need 3, 4 dudes. You didn't need to get ether and a bong and all this craziness and walk around with all these, walk around with a bag full of all this stuff. They made the 1, 2, 3 step. Now, other than the 1, 2, 3 step, they're making this new thing. Exactly. They're making this new thing. Father, you salute to that. Salute to you. They got this new thing. We're actually making the process for you. We're actually going to do the process. So instead of you buying the Grizzy and having to cook it up and all this craziness, we're going to have this already cooked up. So all you got to do is come, cop and go, get the stem, take it to the moon. Once that started, it was a wrap. They made it convenient For the person to get high, get high. Now, mind you, when Krills first transitioned from the powder game to the Krills game, it was still considered a party drug. You was still considered cool. You wasn't considered a fiend. You wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Because at that time, even though it was cheaper, you was able to afford to get high. So y'all talk about the crack babies, but I come from an era where we was the little kids that whole parents was getting high. You know what I'm saying? So we was in the houses, we the niggas was in the rooms. It was crazy, man. We had all type of fake cousins, fake brothers. Yo, that's the pro. Yo, it was bloods already in rooms already. Future homies was in the rooms already. This is the era Preem came from. So when it transitioned heavy. That goes to show how much powder was in the game. Now, like I said, there was a strong difference. Preem was well protected. He protected his castle. His family lived right across the street from Basie. You know what I'm saying? At any given time, you could have snatched. Even Fat Cat went through something, right? Hold on, let's see what Fat Cat went through. You know what I'm saying? Fat Cat went through something. You know what I'm saying? House blown up. Now, you know what's so funny? Is hold on a second, Fat Cat's sister. In May 20th, 1988, by Dan Jacobson, the wheelchair-bound sister of a New York drug lord was killed Friday in a raging inferno sparked by a firebomb hurled through the window of the drug czar's mother's window in the dead of the night. The mother of Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols escaped injury in the attack in drug-related plague Queens after her successful attempt to rescue wheelchair-bound Mary Nichols was 48 years old, who firefighters found dead in the second-floor bedroom. One of Mary Nichols' children suffered second and third-degree burns on his arms and face. Lorenzo Nichols, considered the drug king of Southeast Queens, and served 25 to life for narcotics and weapons possession. The deadly attack started after 12 a.m. when a gunman crouching on a sidewalk about 100 feet away opened fire with a semi-automatic weapon on the frame house in the South Jamaican section. The assailants placed 16 bullets sat the front of the house, longtime home to the Nichols family, then heaved on a device through a first-floor window into the living room. That was a hit. You know what I'm saying? That was a hit. That was a hit. We're gonna get the job done. You know what I'm saying? We're shooting, we're throwing bombs through windows. You know what I'm saying? And this is what came. So you understand what I'm saying? So I gotta give Preem some credit here when it came to that and that era. He was able to protect his little castle. You know what I'm saying? His castle. Now we're not gonna say that. I think by Fat Cat being in jail, his fear in the streets started to do one. Blessed up, Cinnamon Party. You know what I'm saying? Bless up. I believe as his power began to, he began to lose power. You know what I'm saying? In the streets. Even though he still had Mr. Pappy Mason, because Pappy Mason is where they met in jail. From what I understand, they met in the penitentiary. They linked up in the streets. He brought him to his side of town. Pappy Mason's whole position was, you're gonna be the hitcher. You're gonna be the hitter. From my understanding, I guess Fat Cat was locked up. The time before he came home, he linked up with some plug, and the plug. So when you get home, I got you. And he came up with this plan, and the plan works. You know what I'm saying? My man Moms was down with them. You know what I'm saying? She was down with that with them. You know what I'm saying? If y'all remember where Fat Cat stores was actually on the south side, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Where his store was actually at. You know what I'm saying? Um, so Preem was a smart guy, man. I think he was smart. It was a lot of money, and when they killed that cop, it just brought heat on everybody. It definitely. I would say when they killed the parole officer, but it's crazy. Yo. They killed the PO, and then killed baby mothers. They did all type of crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then you had this, fat cat. Yep, exactly. You know exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Y'all know the locations. The other store, the Poppy store. Y'all know that location is at too, right? When they ran up in the Poppy store. You know what I'm saying? In the Poppy store too. You know what I'm saying? Or for something. Y'all know the blocks, man. This is the New York history, because I'm not gonna lie to you. For all the mayhem that was going on the South Side, this goes to show how the internet has intercepted the streets. You wouldn't know what was going on unless you was physically going to the South Side. Something that happened with, I guess, a basketball tournament, and they killed the referee for making a bad call. We don't hear about that. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's when he ran up in his joint and all that. Because after Pappy killed the cop, that's when police said, wait a minute, bro. Flag with a play. They pushed the button. And that was the end of the cracker. That was the end of the free cracker. That was the end of just blue and whites and little fake drug task force. That was the end of, I can take $1 million, and if I got this young boy hustling for me, the most he's gonna do is go to Spark and he'll be back home tomorrow. That was the end of. No, it really wasn't the end of catching a bunch of buying buses, because when TNT did it hit first, they didn't know where to put anybody. So what they was doing was they'll sweep a whole block up and have y'all sitting on Rikers Island. Then they give you probation, and then a guy named Pataki came into play, and then a new president went to play, and they came up with this. We're gonna start sending people to jail. We're gonna build more prisons, and that's when that began. After Cuomo left, Pataki started building them jails. And then that's when it was on go with the mass incarceration. So now, back in the days, when you called a simple buy and bust, you got 6'5", they was giving you a 1 and 3, take that. Oh, this is your third one? Take a 4 to 12. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you had some dudes that had 3 felonies, and he ain't never been up top yet. This paper felon copping out. Yo, let me get probation. We didn't say another probation. Probation. Then you find, by the time Pataki came in, Pataki started hitting you in the head. I'm not gonna say 3. Dudes had a couple of F's, but it wasn't nothing that sent them up north. So I don't have people, oh no, we can't do that. It wasn't like that. I'm not going through it. I'm just saying that they wasn't going hard on your cases until they started building more jails and had some place to sit. You know what I'm saying? So it was a safe environment, but thanks to Pappy Mason, you know what I'm saying? It definitely the president, the future president Bush, walked around with the badge, and he turned what they was doing in Nicaragua, space, you know what I'm saying? Countries we can't, Bolivia, things that we ain't know about, Bolivia, Nicaragua, and all the other names, and Argentina, Ecuador, Peru, you know what I'm saying? And they said, yo, our policing has to be like that. It's a real war on drugs. They're killing police. The last time somebody killed the cop over a drug transaction going on was the mob. The mob, some fool killed the cop, I think, or Staten Island somewhere, or somewhere in Brooklyn. But what the mob did was they made a movie on that, but they laid them out. Oh no, we don't kill cops. You know what I'm saying? We don't kill cops. That's not what we do. We're not in that line of business. We do not kill cops. Well, so you know what I'm saying? My all I heard about Preem was good things though. You know what I'm saying? But you had dudes that was telling on him though. Don't get it twisted. You had dudes that was cooperating against him. You had dudes that was telling the police a lot of things. He had a stronghold. I mean, we're talking about an era where dudes was making $250,000 a week. You had dudes that had strongholds in neighborhoods. Yo, I remember I was with my man, shout out to my man Ja. And we breaking, my man Ja, man, he's a Southside veteran, man. And he breaking stuff down to me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here going, They had Baisley. They had this side block. They was hitting dudes on that side block, that side block. Then they had the torture house. Huh? What's the torture house? That when dudes went over backs, they bring dudes to the basement, bust them over the head 80 times. And I'm like, oh wow. So this is a stronghold that they had. I gotta give them credit. They didn't let no outsiders in. I gotta give them credit. There wasn't no outsiders, you know what I'm saying? And the dudes that was getting money had to be Southside dudes. Like the guy that Ty allegedly killed, he's from over there on that side. You know what I'm saying? You know Ty that. I be seeing the guy brother or the brother cool though. You know what I'm saying? Like all that is small, bro. Like it's right in your face. Like yeah, son. But boom. Yeah. That's my brother who Ty had allegedly assassinated. You know what I'm saying? That's how small this. This is how small this is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front. That was the most, other than like the PTC crew, Purple City, you know, the PTC on the west side, YTC, other crews that was well organized where what took them down was the police. You know, certain crews, a lot of their bosses didn't get assassinated, you know, or kidnapped. Well, some bosses got assassinated by default. You know what I'm saying? Like my man, you know, Tone Lopez was well confident. He was smart. Nobody was snatching his kids up. He wasn't getting extorted. He wasn't doing nothing. It was just a stupid bet. Somebody bet somebody that they wouldn't do something. They did it. Rest in peace, Tone Lopez. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like they was kidnapping his kids and, yo, you got to pay me $20,000 a week and da-da-da. And you had goons in my hood. You had all those names you're talking about. Randy Love. You had the other guy that told on Wayne Perry. You had the Buzzies. Rest in peace. You had all of them in the hood. It wasn't squeezing Tone Lopez. You know what I'm saying? But Tone had a tight crew around him. What Van Glory says, what Supreme had was cooperation. Cooperation. They had a machine, and they wasn't hating on dudes that wasn't down with them. They were two Supreme teams, and they got along with each other. That's how you're supposed to do it. Get money. Let's just get money and respect our blocks. You know what I'm saying? Don't think in the middle of this, in the course of all this, some people passed away that didn't respect the rules of engagement. See, the rules of engagement is simple. Don't come over here with that work, bro. I'm going to respect you, you respect me. Keep your work away from there. Debbie shout to Fort Greene, man. And I think that's where the God body, exactly, man, where being God body, the power of being God body came in that. By just knowing that you go to these functions. So now you're not burning bridges, but you're building bridges. Definitely salute the Money D. You know what I'm saying? You're building bridges. So that made him even more stronger because, listen, remember, there wasn't no internet. So if we just mention Supreme name, you had to know him. Now, this is how crazy as it sounds. I'm just saying, I don't know who else. The first time I ever heard of the Supreme team was in the Daily News when Pappy Mason shot a cop. You know what I'm saying? When he had them, when he didn't shoot a cop, when he had them boys shoot that cop. You know what I'm saying? That's all the information that came after that was crazy. So I'm like, I've been to the Coliseum. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to the Coliseum. So it was like, if I didn't went more deep, it's crazy. Now, you know, you go on Parsons and Jamaica Ave, you got the land of, I'm going to be honest with you, the land of the dirty bloods. They all over. Those are the last links. Those are the official ones. Y'all can't even get mad at me for this one. They got to sit back and go, Zeke is right. They got their own clean team over there, the Dirty Blood. These are the official ones. They got 5 bandanas on, 2 dirty red shirts. It's crazy. So Lucy's, they digging pockets, they swiping, Jamaican Parsons and Archie and all that. But wifey, I love you. I'm gonna read this thing before I go, because you know, I'm gonna do a part 2 to this. You know what I'm saying? Pappy Mason. This is when the game was over. This is when the game was really over. Not when Rich died, but when this is when the game really was over. You know what I'm saying? when they had the cop killed. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? You know what I'm saying? When they had the cop kill, I just thought when they killed the parole officer, when they had the cop kill. Now, in all due respect, even though you know Glaze is Glaze, what y'all say about Glaze, but Glaze has a lot of great content. Go check out Glaze, you know what I'm saying? Because what they don't say about Glaze is he doesn't play the victim. He just says he apologizes for all his crimes and he recognized whatever he did. But check out Glaze, man, because you know he's definitely in the mix with all this, you know what I'm saying, at some point, you know what I'm saying? And I just like to just recognize this. We go see why was he shout him out for, because he was a part of that and he does a lot of content on this stuff as well. And I just have to give him his due respect, you know what I'm saying? Because when we come up with these different contexts, we have to go, well, an idea may have came from watching something that man may have done. So definitely give him his due diligence. You can take the time out, go check out Blind Glaze Kids. You know what I'm saying? Even though, no disrespect in the game. That's how the game went back in the days, right? We give people their respect. That's all. A little bit of respect. You gotta be a whole lot. I ain't gotta like you to respect you. That's it. I don't gotta like you to respect you, but it's just called respect. You know what I'm saying? And that's where talking about these stories is gonna get people back in the mind frame of respect. If you got purple tops, I'm not gonna put purple tops on the block. Because I have respect. Not because I'm soft or I'm scared of you. I have respect. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not a cutthroat. I don't cutthroat. I don't try to cutthroat. I'm gonna do it better than how he do it and flip it around. That's what happened with Mob Style. The made up rap group. The made up hustler group. Paid in full. We're gonna call it paid in full. Just like at the Backstreet Boys, a made up band together. That's what happened with that. And that's why I didn't end right. Too many deaths, too many bodies, too many, you know what I'm saying? Too many victims within the circle. With that being said, man, I'm about to read this thing and I gotta spend some time with wifey. Because the drug game was over in New York City when your man did this on this day. You know what I'm saying? From behind bars, Mason ordered the 1988 murder of police officer Edward Burns. Legally on paper, the game was over. You know what I'm saying? Which led to increased law enforcement attention and Mason's eventual arrest and conviction on various charges. A month after the killing, Mason was sentenced to 7 years in prison on gun charges. The federal government continued to investigate Mason for the Burn killing. On December 11, 1989, Mason was convicted on federal charges, including the murder of Officer Byrne. After 4 years in legal England, including questions of Mason's mental capacity, he was given a life sentence in 1994, began serving a life sentence at EDX Supreme Supermax facility in Florence, Colorado, and was subsequently transferred to USP Allenwood. In 1990, Mason's mother was sentenced to 10 years in prison for drug trafficking. She was released in 1998. This is how real the game was. So with that being said, that's when the game was over. Not when they say this guy died and he got kidnapped and he got shot. The game is over legally when your man had them cops killed. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Now with that being said, salute, peace. Have a great day. We're doing more we're gonna do some more Zulu Nation stuff. Shout out to What's Your Jacket podcast, because hip hop was already getting money before the Sugar Hill Gang existed. Another made up group. You know what I'm saying? But hip hop was already on go within the arts. We're gonna talk about that later on. You know what I'm saying? You already know. Salute the East Harlem, Washington Projects, Lexington Projects. You know what I'm saying? The East Side AK Projects, Wagner Projects, Jeff. Follow my man Rock City Yo. You know what I'm saying? Bad Manners music, you know what I'm saying? Everything on my block, Hilltop, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my mans. Definitely, I'm dedicating this show to my mans on 118th, 116th, Foch, you know what I'm saying? Something Boulevard, my man Black, OG Black, you know? With that being said, easy.